Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Have you ever done that? Sex on a beach?
No,
Okay.
I don't want sand everywhere.
Top 5
Oh.
most overrated places
Ooh, okay.
to do it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, in this scenario, it's broad daylight. You are wide out in the open.
Yeah, no.
There is nowhere to hide if you get caught. And you can't lie if you got caught. You're laying down on a beach having sex.
Yeah, naked.
What? Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
You've joined us here. Educated guess you love romantic comedies. We do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have
Wedding Crashers.
And we picked this movie because it's been requested so much. And you can always reach out to us, by the way, on our Instagram at Romcom Rewind or on TikTok at Romcom Rewind. We're doing it as well because we ourselves are getting married on September 4th.
Woohoo!
Not that I realize this is a weird movie to pick. We're not expecting people to crash our wedding. But it is COVID, so we should probably actually encourage that to not happen. But we did want to pick a fun wedding movie.
Yeah, a wedding movie.
And
for sure.
and this one's been requested quite a bit. So, like I said, you can reach out on Instagram. We're also going to have some wedding posts, I think. But to be honest, we might need you to make a few decisions for us. So check out our Instagram. There might be a few polls up because there's still a few decisions that need to be made. And as well, there'll just be a few wedding things on there. But Wedding Crashers is a 2005 romantic comedy directed by David Dobkin. He's done a few interesting high-profile movies. Shanghai Nights. He recently did the Eurovision Song Contest thing on Netflix.
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen that yet.
It's funny, it has Rachel McAdams and Will Ferrell, right?
Yes, I wanna
Interesting
see it.
throwback to some of the actors in this movie. This movie made $288 million on a $40 million budget.
Wow.
Massive. Had 5 MTV Movie Award nominations the year that it came out. Pretty big deal, and it's the story of John Beckwith, played by Owen Wilson, and as well his friend and co-worker, Jeremy Gray, played by Vince Vaughn. They are divorce
Mediators.
I was going to say lawyers, but yeah, mediators. They work in Washington, D.C., and they have a hobby of crashing weddings to sleep with women. To be honest, it feels kind of sporting event-esque for them. We are in luck as the World Series of weddings happens to be taking place. The daughter of the U.S. Secretary of Treasury is getting married. And these two, John and Jeremy, decide, hey, we're gonna crash this wedding. This one's going to be sick. They sneak their way in, at which point perhaps our main characters find some, dare I say it, love with the family of the bride, with amazing performances from Rachel McAdams as Claire Cleary, Isla Fisher as Gloria Cleary. Side note, Christopher Walken is in this as the patriarch of the family, William Cleary.
Yep.
And Bradley Cooper is in this as well as the original love interest to Rachel McAdams'
And Jane
character.
Seymour plays the mother.
So it's Wedding Crashers. What are your thoughts on this one?
French Foreign Legion.
Yeah, we lost a lot of good men out there.
Mount Everest.
We lost a lot of really good men out there. Lost so many good men out there.
Playing with the Yankees?
In the art of crashing weddings,
Sanjay Collins.
Chuck Vendelou?
Seamus O'Toole.
Bobby O'Shea.
I'm ready to get drunk.
John and Jeremy are the masters.
You know how they say we only use 10% of our brain? I think we only use 10% of our hearts.
Now,
What do we got?
This is the Kentucky Derby of weddings.
they're crashing the biggest wedding of the year.
What angle are you gonna play here?
I'm gonna go with the balloon animal display for the kids.
I want a bicycle.
Buddy, that's gonna take a lot of balloons.
Make me a bicycle, clown.
And meeting the two girls
John Ryan.
Claire Cleary.
that will bring them to their knees.
I always knew my first time would be on a beach.
First time?
We're gonna be so happy together. I love you.
Okay, I have been
sorry?
waiting
I gotta get out of
months
here,
to do
Paul.
this movie, and we've had a really hard time finding it on any streaming service. So we finally have found it on a streaming service in Canada, and we are so happy we did. I have been so excited to do this movie, and I hope we do it justice.
I was about to say, there have been a lot of requests.
Yes, because it is just so good. I love the cast, the writing. This is honestly just fabulous, and the writing is just so smart and witty. It's a big time fan fave of mine. Big fan right here. Yeah. As I point to myself, I love Vince Vaughn, and I think this may be my favorite movie of his.
Oh, I think it's his best movie by far.
Yeah.
I think it's his best movie because, and I'm going to give you my first thoughts, and I'm also going to use the first scene to kind of collect my first
scene.
thoughts.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah.
I think, like, listen, every movie wants to set a tone with the first scene. Like, no director's like, first one's a throwaway, but the rest of the movie's great. Like, everybody wants that, Julia Roberts riding off on a horseback to open Runaway Bride. Or everybody wants Crazy Stupid Love when Cal Weaver is sitting down and he's rambling about dinner and his wife just blurts out, I want a divorce. And everybody wants that
moment
to set the tone for the rest of the movie. And Wedding Crashers, albeit a different vibe from the two examples I gave, a very different vibe. That opening sequence, though, might be my favorite scene of any Vince Vaughn movie ever.
Wow.
I'm not going to make it my best scene because that's too easy, but just the way that him and Owen Wilson are, oh, you guys love weddings, right? Like the crab cakes and everybody's singing like, hey. You crazy cats,
You didn't always hate each other. There had to be some nice moments during the courtship, maybe, or the wedding.
The wedding had to be fun.
You get the
have your families
decorations,
together.
families coming together. That's a nice moment. What'd you have to eat?
Crab cakes.
Are you kidding me? Crab cakes? How could you not have a good time eating crab cakes? I love them.
And
They're
you got
phenomenal.
a band? Did you have a band?
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Who gives a shit? It's a great band. It's a bad band. It's like pizza, baby. It's good no matter what. There's music in the air.
Shout. You
Yeah.
hate it. A little bit
hey. Shout now. Jump up and shout now. It's a good time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rubbing up against each other.
They do so well. This movie, I think, is like one of my top 10 of all time. Like, put it on Devin's Mount Rushmore of rom-com greatness, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So it does open to the two of them mediating a divorce, and they're very good at their job.
They are so good. And like I said, the reason they're good is because they're just playing off each other. And the two. Did you notice that that's Dwight Yoakam in that opening scene as the guy getting a divorce? I thought that was interesting.
Yes, and he is a country singer.
Yeah.
I feel like that is like my number one thing that I have learned from a listener, and I will never forget that.
We should have known it, first of all. So we were doing the movie Four Christmases.
Cue the background music of Dwight Yoakam right now.
So we did the movie Four Christmases, which also stars Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
And we talked so much about how, was it Garth Brooks? We're like, oh my God, Garth Brooks is so amazing in this as Dallas. Like, ha ha ha.
You'd never know he was a country
hilarious.
singer.
Like, wow, what a triple threat country singer. And we got a bunch of messages being like, do you not realize that Dwight Yoakam is also in this movie, also a country singer who is an actor?
Yeah, and it was cool. I learned something, and I will never forget it, and I think it's amazing. So now whenever I see him, I'm like, oh, he's a country star singer. I know that.
Things that everybody else knew that we
didn't.
Learned. Hey,
yes.
Listen, we know rom-coms. We don't necessarily know country music. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yes, it starts off with them mediating a divorce, and then it kind of moves on from there. They get a newspaper, and Jeremy goes into John and says, it is wedding season. They look them up in the newspaper. This is how they find them. People's engagement announcements or wedding announcements in the newspaper. Okay, so for you, do you prefer Christmas or wedding season? Because that's kind of what they talk about. They're like, oh my gosh, it's like Christmas, but it's better.
I think every sane person likes Christmas better than wedding season.
Okay, I guess that's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean, then again, it's been a pandemic. Maybe you haven't been to a wedding in a while. I know we haven't. Which is funny that the first wedding we'll be going to in a long time is our wedding. Yeah, no. Right now, would really like wedding season, but overall, Christmas, 100%.
I think people will go to any event at the moment.
Yeah.
So can we talk about some wedding do's and don'ts for crashing weddings?
Okay.
So let's come up with a few right now. Okay, so I have don't get caught.
Right.
Don't indulge in conversation. Like don't Like, keep it brief. You got to keep it surface.
So these are different than the rules that they have, because they have rules like don't leave a wedding, don't leave a crasher behind. I think they do talk about what you just said, like
don't get caught.
Well, no, with their lies,
the
they try to be bulletproof on their alibis of who they are, kind of thing.
Yeah, like
right?
they take the time to study who they're going to be and the family that like the wedding is for.
See, I'm gonna say a don't on that.
Don't what?
Like if you're gonna do the whole like, oh, we're distant relatives of blah blah blah, I would say just don't try to bang somebody from the bridal party.
Oh yeah, because then they're gonna. Why?
Because, well, I mean, so the first crashes that we see is kind of just a montage of them at all these different places. We don't know who they went home with, but the main wedding, the Cleary wedding, they're both taking their shots at sisters of the bride and bridesmaids.
Yeah.
It's a horrible idea.
Because if they're Uncle Ned's kids, then technically they're related.
Well, they might not necessarily be related, but somebody's going to, like, have the family tree on their, oh, really? You're those people? Like, why would you just, like... Go after the college friends. That's easy.
I guess
they're not related and they don't know the family tree.
I guess you're right, but now that does make me think like if you're Uncle Ned's kids, you're probably
related to somebody. Yeah,
related to them.
It's a little strange.
I never thought about that till just now.
And I also feel like doesn't that just narrow the scope of people that you can bang if you're related in some way?
Oh, definitely.
Then any family member of that person, you're out.
So it should always be a friend. Like whoever you're playing should always be a friend. A coworker or a colleague, like something like that. Okay,
I just know them from work. Cool,
right.
Easy. Wow,
that is
look at that
is easy. Oh my God, yeah. Why do they try to go so deep?
Yeah.
Do fake it till you make it.
Absolutely, and always be confident in your lies for sure. Like when they're in the church and they talk about being Uncle Ned's kids, and then the person says, "Oh, what about so and so?" They're like, "Oh, she sends her regards." And the guy says, "Oh." But she's dead. And they're like, from the grave, though. We're very spiritual. Like, just keep on going with the lie and go with confidence. Because people will believe you.
Do be confident.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever crashed a wedding?
No, I haven't.
I think I don't think I have. I have tried, and then I chickened out.
Some people have threatened to crash our wedding.
This is true. They have. And
Sarah's personal trainer and who used to be my personal trainer at the same gym, they both want to try to crash the wedding.
Yes. And I do believe they also listen to the podcast.
Oh, do they actually?
I think so. I think a few episodes here and there. They will probably listen to this one.
Well, listen, the only person who they've had correspondence with is you, so let me be clear, Oscar and Cole, please do not crash our wedding, okay? It's COVID. We can only have a certain amount of people here, all right? Love you guys, but... You know what? I'll allow it as long as they have a great backstory. Okay.
Oh, yes. If you're going to crash our wedding, you have to come and bring us a good story as to who you are.
I don't know
how
you. You guys
know
are
us.
country singers from Alberta, okay?
Yeah.
Like, give me the full wedding crasher deal, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to show up in a character.
Invoke your Owen Wilson.
For sure. I love it. Okay, so these are the most active participants in a wedding I have ever seen.
Are you talking about Jeremy and John?
Totally.
Okay.
I just needed to make that comment because, like, the weddings that I have been to, like, I mean, I usually dance till I literally can't dance anymore, and I am not a good dancer. Let me preface that. However, I do have lots of fun dancing. But they are active. Like, they are talking to people. They're having conversations. They're doing speeches, which, like, on a good day, I don't want to do a speech in front of a whole bunch of people, but they're up there, they're doing speeches, they're talking to old people, they're doing their thing, they're dancing around. They are so active. They are like active wedding participant crashers.
See, I would say that's another don't. Don't draw so much attention to yourself because people are going to be like, wait, who is that guy? It's Uncle Ned's kids? Really?
Yeah, and like, I'm sorry, but like, Ned is not a popular name.
Well, in that case, they actually do know that there is an Uncle Ned.
This is true. They did their research. However, like if you were to just take this up as a hobby and you weren't doing your research on like this prominent family,
so if you just want to crash random weddings,
don't choose Ned.
Don't choose Ned. But also, like, yeah, back to that stuff. There's a scene at the beginning where Vince Vaughn's character is like, he's at the cake cutting and he is the first one to grab the cake and he puts it on the group. Like, you are drawing a lot of attention to yourself, man.
You're drawing every piece of attention to
you. You are the attention right now.
Yeah, don't do that. Okay, and so leading into that, they have rules. And so the rules come about from a guy named Chaz Reinhold.
Oh, great guy.
Get the meatloaf, Ma!
He has passed them on and to John and Jeremy, and this reminds me of the handbook that Barney Stinson had in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yeah. The code. The bro code.
The bro code.
Yeah,
the bro code.
great.
It always reminds me of the bro code in How I Met Your Mother throughout this entire movie. And I just they're so sporadic, the rules throughout this movie.
They just bring them up to each other.
They do.
Which
And
I kind of like playing it that way because it's like we're getting this snapshot of like Wedding Crasher veterans who just like they rhyme off the code to each other just, off by heart almost.
yeah, they don't mess around. This is part of their a side job. This is their side hustle. Okay, so they have done their homework. They are all ready to go to the Cleary's wedding. So one of the 3 daughters are getting married, and
He is the U.S. Secretary, Treasury, or something.
yeah,
like
he's
that.
a senator, and
He's something.
and John's not he thought wedding season was done. He wasn't really into it. He didn't really want to go, and then he sees Claire. One of
Cleary.
Yes, one of the daughters, and literally falls in love instantly. This was love at first sight.
You know what? I've got a few questions about the season of Wedding Crashing.
Okay.
Because they say off the top, Vince Vaughn says it's going to be a crazy 3 weeks. It's wedding season. Wedding season, by the way, is apparently only 3 weeks.
I know that's
Did not know that.
It is not though.
Maybe they just want to condense their debauchery to 3 weeks.
Maybe they take 3 weeks holidays. Do you think they take holidays? Whoa. Do you think for wedding season they take holidays?
100% they probably
and
do.
And that's why, although who is having weddings every single night? Because that would only be 3 weekends, which means it would only be 3 weddings, but it's more than that.
Yeah, do people do Friday night weddings?
And Sunday
Friday,
night,
Saturday?
Sundays, Sunday weddings. I know people who do Sunday weddings.
So you could do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is all prep, right?
Oh, okay, I like it.
Prep for the next
Maybe
weekend
they
of
do
weddings.
their Thursdays too.
Yeah. But
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
can we talk about the actual act of wedding crashing?
Okay.
How I think that's not the most destructive hobby that 2 guys in their 30s can have. I actually think it's pretty cool. If I had a friend who was single in their 30s, I think we'd probably do wedding crashing as well. It seems fun.
So you would do wedding crashing instead of just going to the bar?
Yeah. I would say the success rate is way higher at weddings.
Really?
Oh my. Well, they even talk about it. Sarah, you're seeing love happen at an altar. Oh my God. Wow. Love is a real thing. And then you turn your head around and there's a guy making balloon animals for kids and he's so charming and he's so sweet. Don't you believe that love could be recreated right here? And then you have sex with them, Sarah. That's what you do.
And it's just that easy.
There you go.
It's just that easy, everyone.
Just explained wedding crashing to you.
Oh my God.
We
The
just
balloon
watched an hour and
animals,
a half
they did
long
it.
movie, but
Yeah, so the only other thing I was going to say about him, John falling instantly in love with Claire was that I think Rachel McAdams' hair in this movie is too dark.
So you saw the newspaper article and you're like, ugh.
No.
Her hair, God.
No, when he sees her at the wedding, I just think her hair is too dark. And maybe it's because in everything else I've seen her in, her hair is always lighter. So maybe, because by the end of the movie, I think I was okay, it does suit her. But initially it was kind of like a shock because in every other movie you see her in, it's not like a deep dark chocolate brown. It's more of
It's like a dirty blonde light. It's like a light brown.
Lighter brown. Yeah. That's literally all I wanted to say.
Okay.
It was like a
Some
sticking.
beef
It was a
with the
sticking
hair.
point for me at the beginning of the movie. I was like, oh no, her hair's too dark.
But-
But I mean, it looks good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it looks great. So we're at the Cleary wedding.
Yes.
Everybody's walking down the aisle. And Jeremy, Vince Vaughn's character, he eyes up Gloria,
Yeah.
Isla Fisher, and he says, hey, dibs on that one. John, Owen Wilson's character, is watching Rachel McAdams. Claire walk down the aisle, and he says, works for me, bud. I got that one. So now we've established our... Right now, they're just I don't know how to say they're not love interests.
They're doing what they normally do, which is they kind of like pick who they want to make moves on for the rest of the night.
Yeah. They're banging interests.
They're
Or,
banging
they're
interests. Yes.
Exactly.
And yes, so this is the part where they let the people beside them know that they are Uncle Ned's kids. And this is the part where, they go through the grave thing. That's, Weddings for them, like you've mentioned, is a sporting event. And so for me, it's like football. They bet on, if the bride will cry or not.
Oh,
if
yeah,
the
they're doing
groom
prop
will cry
bets.
yeah, they are.
Love it.
What the readings are going to be. I think that's hilarious.
Corinthians. Yeah, whatever it was. You nailed it.
Love is patient, love is kind. Like John right there made, I think, like a quick $40.
Yeah.
I just think that is hilarious. It's definitely, this movie is like a rom-com bromance movie.
Well, you know what? That's interesting to bring up because, like, while I was looking up stuff for this movie, I realized the cover of the movie is only Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
They don't mention Rachel McAdams or Isla Fisher even in, like, the starring section. It's just those two guys. It says with Christopher Walken, too. So, like, they had none of the... Which, I don't know if that's like a... Yeah, I know. It's a little weird, isn't it?
That is a little odd.
Sometimes they try to hide the love interest because they want you guessing during the movie. It still seemed a little strange that...
I feel like it's pretty upfront in the movie.
Yeah,
you kind of literally love at first sight, everyone. He walks in and he picks her.
Hey, that one. I want that one.
Yeah. And then they get into their vows. And so the eldest Clary sister is getting married and they're exchanging their vows and they are all sailing related.
God.
I am dying when this is happening. I can't stop laughing. So I have to write my vows this week. And what would you think if I wrote them all in podcast classic rom-com lines? I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. Is that what you did? Stop it. Stop. You did that? Get out of here.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I would kill you.
I'm still doing it. I think
you
it's funny.
actually genuinely wrote.
Yeah. Not all of it, but like, yeah.
No. I'm
Do
dead.
you want me to change it? A little bit. Your face says a little bit.
I honestly, I don't know if you're being serious right now.
You look like somebody struck you in the face with a snowball or something.
Well, what? Okay, hold on. You actually, I wrote this as a joke.
Yeah.
And you actually wrote your vows.
See, I think they're quite eloquent, though. I think I did it in an eloquent way.
Absolutely. So, when you tell me your vows?
Okay,
hold on.
This is a non-spoiler alert wedding. You're just gonna know everything that's gonna happen. All right.
When you say your vows to me,
yeah.
Am I then supposed to reply with what movie they're from?
Oh yeah, you should. That's probably the best.
It's like 20 questions, and I'm supposed to be quick fire back to you to tell you what movie.
Just yell them out.
Runaway Bride, Notting Hill. Yeah. Both wrong. Yeah. Wedding Crashers.
Well, Notting Hill wouldn't work because I am not just a girl standing in front of a boy.
Yes, this is true.
We need gender neutral.
What's the one
lines.
that has the really good with Meg Ryan? The bookstore.
You've Got Mail.
Yes. Oh no. Oh, is that it? Oh yeah,
well,
with the bench.
The competing bookstores.
The bench.
On the bench, yeah.
Yeah, that one was cute. You didn't use that one.
I hoped it was you. Isn't that what they say?
Well, I'll be the bride up there saying it's me.
I wished it was you. Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
I'm here. Present.
Been dating for a long time.
Present, everyone. I'm here. Sarah, present. Okay, well, that gave me a lot more information than I actually bargained for. I will be honest with you. I did not see that going that way. I am not pleasantly surprised.
And you listening
are
probably thinking this is a horrible idea. I think I've done it eloquently. Maybe after the wedding, we can share it on our podcast and people can decide if it was actually
everyone. I am
horrible.
concerned.
Yeah, okay. Or maybe if I decide not to, we'll read them on the pod. And you can decide if they were eloquent vows or cheesy vows.
I'm actually really stunned right now.
I'm getting the vibe that you're gonna want me to change them.
I don't even know what to say. I'm kind of speechless right now.
Not in a good way though.
I'm just really I don't know. So after the ceremony, They are kind of outside at the reception, probably the cocktail hour, and John wants to speak to Claire, so he goes up to her, and she's putting the gifts on the table. And his opening line to Claire is guessing the gifts.
Which I'm going to assume he's done many times. Like, that's a move that he uses. 100%.
I didn't think of that.
Because how often are you just... Are people who you're targeting, trying to bang, how often are people who you're trying to bang going to go by the gift table? Fairly likely.
This is true. I think you'd be good at it because you have guessed so many gifts that I have given you, and it is annoying. Devin has this thing where he doesn't like he loves to ruin surprises.
No, I don't mean to though. It just happens organically.
No,
it's like a superpower.
It doesn't happen organically because you seek it out.
No, I don't seek it out.
No, you
Come
do.
on.
You do. So like this one Christmas, I bought him a watch, and it was wrapped in 3 different boxes, and he shook it and he said it's a watch, and I looked at him and I
Nobody
tried
likes
to...
a good guesser around
no
Christmas.
No one likes a good guesser, absolutely no one. And I looked at him and I was like, no, it's not a watch. But I'm like, damn, he got it, and it's in 3 boxes. Like I have to take the time to put his gift in multiple different sized boxes in order to make sure that he doesn't guess it. And he freaking guessed that it was a watch. And it was. Okay, so John also talks to Senator Cleary and gets in his good books. They go outside to smoke cigars. And then after Senator Cleary leaves and Claire comes back, and they talk about their speeches. So what do you think about speeches in general? Do you like speeches? So some people love speeches at weddings, and then other people just absolutely hate them.
This is tough because we're about to have a wedding, so I don't want to offend anybody. Every wedding has too many speeches, in my opinion. Okay, is that mean to say? There's always too many people who are going to talk because, like, listen, okay, like the MCs go up, great, and then like I don't even know the process of things. I probably should because I'm getting married next weekend. But
yeah, you definitely should.
The first 5 speeches, you're like, hey, I'm here for it. After that, and there's always an after that. It's just like, can I just get drunk now?
Do you think it's because like the table wine is just flowing?
Well, like, and especially if you're vibing with the people at your table, you're like having dinner, you're having some wine, and it's a good time, and then all of a sudden, everybody shut up. Somebody's got to say something. And they just talk and yeah.
See, I like speeches. I like to hear speeches.
God, I like the good speeches. There's always good speeches.
There is, yes. I think too, depending on like sometimes speeches can go too long. So I find it has to be a good balance. Like not everyone and their cousin can go up and give a speech.
Oh, I think the over-under for me is
too
5.
long.
After 5, I'm like, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah, I think that's probably around the same as well.
Unless you have like very, very sharp speakers. And then,
Yeah. So while the speeches are happening, Jeremy and Gloria are on the beach having sex. And she says she always knew her first time was going to be on a beach and they were going to be so happy together.
I always knew my first time would be on a beach.
First time? You're a virgin?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Jeremy, we're gonna be so happy together.
I love you.
I'm sorry?
I love you.
Okay, first off, the beach.
Yes.
Have you ever done that? Sex on a beach?
No,
Okay.
I don't want sand everywhere.
Top 5
Ugh.
most overrated places
Ooh, okay.
to do it.
Okay.
Because, I mean, in this scenario, it's broad daylight. You are wide out in the open.
Yeah, no.
There is nowhere to hide if you get caught. And you can't lie if you got caught. You're laying down on a beach having sex.
Yeah, naked.
What? And yeah, you bring up a great point. The sand.
Ugh,
It's
yeah,
just
no.
so many things wrong about doing it on a beach. I'm sorry if you're listening, being like, hey, I'm a beach person. I disagree with your lifestyle. No, like, you can be a beach person,
you can be a beach person.
but don't do it on the beach. It's a horrible idea.
Well, yeah, it is. There's too much possibility for sandy. And you know what? If it was a pebble beach, it would just be real uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, no, that's also not good. But she says she's a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
The audience doesn't know that she's lying yet.
Correct.
Wouldn't you notice, though, if somebody has or has not done it before?
I guess, because like I feel like there would be that element of awkwardness, right?
Maybe it's tougher for a guy to lie that it's his first time because like the guy actually needs to do some significant work there. I guess a girl can.
This is funny.
I don't know, like
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Listen, I know my first time was not a good. Like you could look at the performance and say that was his first time for sure. It wasn't good. I promise you that.
For him doing this as like every summer kind of thing, like every wedding season, and him literally bringing home women all the time, you would think that he would kind of know whether it was her first time or not.
I would think.
Yeah, I would agree. I remember, I think the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, like, wouldn't he know? Like, if it was her, like, he would know. And then it kind of goes back to the wedding, and we find out that Bradley Cooper's character, Zach, which is like, I thought his name was Zach for the longest time.
I actually still thought it was Zach until I Googled stuff about this movie. Yeah,
it's literally sack, like a sack of potatoes.
Zach Lodge.
Is that what his name is? Lodge?
Yeah, his last name's Lodge.
Oh, okay. So Zach
Lodge
is her boyfriend, who is a complete ass. I'm just going to say that up front.
A super D-bag, yeah.
He did a phenomenal job in this movie. Because he's a massive asshole.
We really love to hate him. So good on you, Bradley Cooper.
Absolutely.
You were very dislikable.
Yes, you were a hated character.
Mission accomplished.
Big time. Pan back to the beach, and we see Jeremy, who is coming up swiftly. He is moving with purpose to John and says he wants to go because he has a stage 5 clinger.
I'm looking all over for you. I gotta get out of here pronto. I got a stage 5 clinger.
No, I need more time.
Did you hear what I just said to you? Stage 5, virgin, clinger? Let's go. I'm gonna start the car. I'm serious. Let's go.
Classic line from this movie.
Yes, stage 5 clinger. Oh my God. And Gloria is having a hissy fit to get her dad to say yes to letting them come to their weekend away at the house.
So there are a few things at play here. The things at play are that Jeremy just banged Gloria.
Yeah.
And she's one of the sisters of the bride. And she wants them to come back to this like cottage that they have. However, John has still not hooked up with Claire.
Yeah.
We realize that's probably because, dude, she's dating Zach. So when John realizes, like, oh my God, like, we could go to their cottage. Claire's going to be there. That's great. This is my ticket into the family. So he basically throws Jeremy right under the bus.
Oh my God, yes. The one of many.
Yes. So Jeremy is going to be stuck with Gloria, who is just insatiable, obsessed with him. And
it's
John's going
to
try to take his shot at Claire.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
We get on the boat and we're going to the cottage.
They agree. Reluctantly, Jeremy agrees. And much to his chagrin, I believe. And they get there, and as soon as they get there, they literally have no clothes. They have the clothes on their back. And the family says, oh, yeah, no problem. We have tons. And I'm just like, Vince Vaughn is a giant.
Like
I don't know
6'6".
whose
He's
clothes
huge, yeah.
are going to fit him, because literally no one is his size whatsoever. And they get there, and they play a football game? Touch football. I'm going to preface the touch part because it is not touch football. This is like full-on tackle football.
Yeah, Zach does not take the touch thing very well.
I think he has some anger problems.
Oh, he definitely has anger problems. And keep in mind, Jeremy's character, or Jeremy has done it with Gloria on the beach.
Yes.
Okay, he sat through a wedding. Did you catch the part where he talked about how they went into the cabin on the boat? They did it again on the boat.
Oh my God, no, I didn't know that.
I was going to say, I was keeping a running tally of how many times this guy climaxed during the movie. It's a lot. So that's 2, and now he's playing football. Poor guy.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Out.
I
Yeah.
did not know that they had gone in the cabin on the boat to do it again.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Jeremy just gets his ass kicked up and down that field. Meanwhile, John is trying to flirt with Claire, and every time they get into a little flirty conversation, Jeremy is on the ground again because Zach is just beating the crap out of him.
Which, like, I don't understand how, first off, like, John has the balls to flirt with another guy's girlfriend in front of the guy, but also how Zach doesn't even notice that it's happening. Like, he's too busy, like, being angry and, like, beating the shit out of Jeremy. It's just like that whole scene is like really weird because I'm like, oh, like the way he's like, John is grabbing Claire. I'm just
the
like,
grab
this
was
is like really
suspect.
weird. This whole thing, like, how is this like actually happening? So after the touch football game, they have a family dinner, and there is so much going on at this family dinner. I don't know if you remember, like, so Gloria is literally under the table jerking Jeremy off.
Yeah, there's a point where Sack asks,
Yes.
what do Jeremy and John do? And they're venture capitalists. And he's like, what does that mean? And then, and the thing I like about this scene is that Owen Wilson doesn't overdo it, because he's like, yeah, we do this thing for like homeless people. And he kind of like takes a look at Jeremy, waiting for Jeremy to pop in. You see his eyes flicker up and down to like his crotch, sees what's happening, and he doesn't like overact it. He's just like, yeah, so they like knit sweaters, and yeah, it's really great. And he just keeps on going. Meanwhile, yeah, Jeremy is getting
To be a saint just yet, we do turn a small profit. After all, someone has to pay for the lap dances for the big guy.
He's joking around. Feels so good when he jokes.
What's this company called? Shirts and Pants. Holy Shirts and Pants. It's a little corny and obvious, but what do you get out of being subtle, right?
Well, that's a hell of a good project. I'm going to mention something to the Commerce Secretary.
That would be terrific. That would be great, huh?
Terrific. That was terrific.
And their company is called Holy Shirts and Pants. And that is thanks to Jeremy blurting out holy and Owen Wilson finishing it by saying shirts and pants.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself deserves a T-shirt that just says Holy Shirts and Pants.
Yeah. So the dinner party is pretty wild. There's the grandma who is a little bit racist.
No, like not a little bit. Like that is 100% racism right there. Jeremy's face during it, I don't know how you can't tell that something's happening and what she's doing. Like it's pretty visible. And it's just all starting to fall apart at once. Like they all start arguing with each other. Everyone starts yelling at grandma to stop saying what she's saying. And she's talking about her president's wife. And like, anyway, it's just like, it is an amazing scene. It's not my best scene, but it's pretty darn close because it's like just absurd.
So it was
hilarious.
my best scene, actually.
Was it?
Like specifically the him getting rubbed under the table. But there is an important part to this. They brought some eye drops with them to put in Sack's drink.
Yes, I forgot about
because
that.
Because apparently that gives you diarrhea. I didn't know if you consume eye drops. So the mission there is to get him out of the picture.
Right.
And he does. He leaves.
Oh, he does.
Gone.
He is hugging the toilet for the rest of the evening.
The toilet. Bingo.
Definitely. And John is up in his room after dinner, and Mrs. Cleary's alter ego, Kitty Cat, catches him off guard in his bedroom. And
it is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Her lines in this movie are hilarious. She is funny in this movie. And like after she convinces John to touch her boobs after, because she had a boob job and she really wants, anyway, whatever. And after he does, she yells pervert and then walks away. And I'm just like, what? Like, what is going on? Like, this family is so bizarre.
Yeah.
The only one who doesn't seem to be completely, a lot going on is Claire.
Yeah.
Who is literally virtually engaged to
Sack, pretty close to
Sack,
it.
who's has his own problems.
We did miss a great line in this movie.
Ooh, which one?
After the football game, Jeremy is pretty beaten up, and Gloria is tending to his wounds, and she tries to get with him again. She's trying to bang him again. He kind of talks about how, listen, like, I know we've really explored each other physically, but I want to explore each other emotionally. And she hits him with the line of...
It's just that I'm feeling very strongly that we're only starting to express ourselves in a physical, sexual, specifically way. That's it! Way! And I'd like to play some catch-up on finding out who's inside here. okay?
Jeremy. Jeremy, you're amazing.
Oh, God, I think you're amazing.
Oh my God, don't ever leave me.
Ever.
Good. Because I'd find you.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Classic line.
Absolutely. That I think that's the line that I remember most from this movie.
Probably the most quotable line from this movie.
Absolutely. There's a lot of really good ones, but I think that one's the best because it's just the way she says it is spot on, is fantastic.
But yeah, so we're at night.
And again, Gloria ties Jeremy to the bedpost. They do their thing.
They do it again. So that's the fourth time?
Fourth time, yeah.
that day.
Yes. And
Jeremy, lots happening for the guy.
Lots happening for the guy, yep. And then later on, he wakes up again, and there is Todd.
Yeah, Todd's an interesting character.
Todd is the youngest and is the brother to all the
Claire
girls.
and Gloria. Yeah, he's William Cleary's son.
Yes. Yeah. And Todd paints a picture, a painting for Jeremy called Celebration.
It's nearly nude, and it's of Jeremy in the forest, and yeah.
Yes, like if it was Adam and Eve, he would be Adam because there's a leaf covering. And I think, Jeremy is literally having the worst time of his life at this weekend.
Horrible. Well, it's doubled down by the fact that, and can I do my honorable mention right now?
Absolutely.
William Cleary walks in, the father.
Oh my God.
Christopher Walken.
Yes.
And Jeremy is telling Todd, like, get in the closet.
He's in the closet, yeah.
So, Todd goes into the closet. William Cleary walks in. He's like, hey, I heard some yelling. And Jeremy's like, yeah, I just have some night terrors. And the thing I like about William Cleary's character is that he's a man with some morals. He loves his family. He's obviously extremely sharp, but he's also absurdly ignorant to what's happening around him.
Yes.
To the point where he walks into the room, he can see Jeremy there. It's very clear that Jeremy is tied up.
Yep.
He somehow just misses that. He sits down on the bed and he's talking to him.
Well, no, he does. Like, he looks at the ropes, but he just
actually
doesn't even think.
I was gonna say he pulls on a rope, kind of like almost absent-mindedly.
Yeah.
Like he's just like
doesn't
pulling
even
on
acknowledge it.
Yeah. He's looking at the picture. He looks back at Jeremy and he's like, okay, that's
Nothing seems amiss.
Yeah. Well, I think he looks at the picture. He's like, oh, it's a little bit strange, but maybe I never go in this room. And he just like leaves.
Yeah. It is bizarre. And the whole conversation is just so weird. And then he just leaves. This movie has so many. Every scene is great.
Every
in this
scene's
movie.
great. And they have a lot of, like, when Christopher Walken has those moments, he really grabs the attention of you. The way he articulates certain words, like it keeps on bringing you in. It's really great.
It is. He should be in more romantic comedies or just comedies in general because he's really funny. His delivery is very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next morning they go sailing and they have a lovely time. But when they get back, Sack wants to go hunting for quails and they go. Jeremy gets shot in the ass by Sack on purpose.
Yeah, so Sack is like, I'm going to scare these guys. He shoots at them, but he doesn't shoot at them. He shoots Jeremy in the butt.
Yes, and I honestly think this scene is really funny. Jeremy has some really good lines. Like Vince Vaughn has some really good lines. He has the best lines in this movie. Of all
Vince Vaughn,
Vince Vaughn, of all the characters, and classic Vince Vaughn, like really, I'm sure he freaking wrote them, but just so well done, and they're so funny, and they're just like they're really like low key, and then you realize what he said, and you're like, oh my god, that is hilarious. And all the while, Sack has called his buddy, who knows a private investigator, to find out who these two guys are, and Jeremy and John, and to see if they really are venture capitalists of holy shirts and pants.
Yeah, which, like, think about if this movie was in 2021, you could just Google that and find out if they were real or not. You had to get a private investigator to do it, but...
After they get back from sailing and from quail hunting and, geez, they're very active, John and Claire are able to sneak away to go on a bike ride to the beach, and they talk and they kiss, and when they get back... Like, they share really cute moments and, it's really special, blah, blah, blah. Sack tells the family at dinner that Sack and Claire are getting married, which is BS. BS. And Claire, like, really doesn't like him.
At this point, I think she's very conflicted. Do I love John or do I love Sack? I don't really know. All of a sudden, I'm getting married. Like, John had successfully wedged his way in there.
He absolutely did. And like very quickly too. Like this has been like 48 hours.
Yeah.
Not even.
Literally.
Like it's very quickly. Like clearly she was on the rocks.
And then Claire goes outside and John goes out to talk to her and kind of, I think at this point he's going to reveal who he is, that he has kind of been not totally telling the truth. And that gets spoiled because Sack, well, actually somebody shoots a gun. I think Grandma tries to shoot Jeremy.
Gma, she's here.
And Jeremy actually professes his love to Gloria. It's funny. So the entire movie up until that point, we think that Jeremy is just like so pissed off that he's stuck with Gloria. Oh, this virgin who's just like so enamored with me. How annoying. She does reveal at one point, like, oh, I just said that because isn't that what guys want to hear? Like, oh, I'm a virgin. Like, obviously not, you idiot. You know, really, she's got all the pieces that Jeremy would like, right? She wants to do it a lot. And she's pretty adventurous, let's say. So he professes his love. Like, you know what? I love you, Gloria. And she's like, like giving him the looks. But then Sack also reveals, like, yeah, like they're both lying. John isn't who he says he is. Claire's really upset. And they get kicked off the island. And John, he's blown his chance.
It's like Survivor. They get kicked off the island. Their torch is snuffed.
Yeah. There was a ferry coming in 15 minutes. You best be on it.
Yes.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get out of here.
Yeah. And so months go by, and he tries another attempt to see Claire by going to her engagement party. And I think at this point, like, in the movie, I'm just, like, watching John, and I'm like, you're a little bit of a sad situation.
A little bit of a sad sack. I'll be honest, there's only one nitpick that I will have on this movie. And that's that this 15 minutes was a little bit long for me. I'm like, did we need to have that? He should have just went right to Chaz. The engagement party was, I don't know if it was necessary to just like push him further down into the dumps, but I got a little bored around this part. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and I think like, he sets up this whole thing with Jeremy, and Jeremy says, okay, yeah, reluctantly I'll be there, blah, blah, blah. And Jeremy doesn't show up to be his sidekick, and, John gets the crap beaten out of him because Sack finds him. He goes to Jeremy's house and finds out that he's been sneaking around with Gloria the whole time. And John is pissed at Jeremy. Like, would you be mad?
Yeah, like I would be pissed at him just because I got my ass kicked and you weren't there.
True.
I wouldn't be pissed that you were sneaking around with Gloria. Like, good job. You found some love.
Yeah.
Great. That's what we've been, well, that's maybe what they were looking for. That's what John's trying to get.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got my ass kicked, and 6'6" Vince Vaughn could have been there to save me, and he wasn't. I'd be annoyed about that.
Yeah, but like not like the way he is. So like John even starts crashing weddings by himself.
Yeah.
He is an absolute disaster. All the while, Jeremy proposes to Gloria, and Jeremy asks John to be his best man, and John just kicks him out. Like, this is like a deep like hatred for him at this point, and I'm just like, you're just kind of like a sad sack of shit. Like, pull up your socks, buddy.
And that propels us to Chaz.
And John goes to see Chaz. And Chaz, this is a really funny scene. This actually is one of my also fave scenes, not my best scene, but this is a hilarious scene. I have quoted multiple times Chaz yelling at his mother for the meatloaf.
Just living the dream. I love that. You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf. You want some? Yes. I knew you'd come. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf! What is she doing? I never know what she's doing back there.
I never know what she's doing back there.
I never know what's she doing, yeah. And then Chaz reveals, so Chaz, what we gather is that it used to be Jeremy and Chaz crashing weddings together.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes.
And Chaz kind of imparted all this wisdom on Jeremy, which Jeremy now uses as the rules for wedding crashing with John. So when John goes there, he's assuming, hey, like, you're going to tell me all about crashing weddings. No. Chaz, our boy, is now crashing funerals.
Yeah, there's a lot wrong with that.
There's a lot wrong with it,
Like,
yeah.
everything wrong with that.
You're taking advantage of people who are mourning, I guess. It's very strange.
It is morally wrong.
Yeah, it is morally wrong.
Like, it is morally wrong. And he goes to one with Chaz.
And then, so we've met Vince Vaughn's character, Owen Wilson's character, now Will Ferrell's character. I want to play a game with you at this point.
Okay.
Vince Vaughn is, I think, the stage 5 clinger of acting.
Vince Vaughn is the stage 5 clinger of acting. Okay.
Because there are certain people who he just won't let go of.
Oh.
Who he's acted with so many times.
Okay.
So I've got a question for you. How many times has he acted in a movie with Owen Wilson?
4.
Yes. Did you know that?
No.
No. Wow. Zoolander.
Oh my God.
He was in Zoolander.
Wait.
Vince Vaughn was in Zoolander.
Really?
Yes. He was in
Okay.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers, obviously. And The Internship.
Yes, in 2013.
How about Will Ferrell?
3.
6?
No.
Old School,
Oh
which is
my
classic.
God. Okay, yes.
Anchorman's 1 and 2. Vince Vaughn was
yes,
one of
he
the
was
other
competing
That's
news.
right.
Okay.
Starsky and Hutch, obviously.
Mhm.
Zoolander, obviously. And this one, Wedding Crashers.
Wow.
And now the final guy on our list is Ben Stiller. How many times has Vince Vaughn acted with Ben Stiller?
Let's go with 6.
7.
7. Okay, so Zoolander.
Yeah? Let's see if you can guess them. You're not. Yeah.
No, I'm
it's
not
gonna
going to be
tough.
able to. It's going to be really tough. I can't think of any others.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball,
Oh,
Sarah. They were in
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball together.
Oh my God, that's a really good movie.
They were in The Watch together. Pauly
Oh.
Shore is dead.
I don't remember
Starsky
that
and Hutch, which you talked about.
Okay, I was going to guess Starsky and Hutch, but I
But
couldn't
also,
remember.
Ben Stiller did have a role in Anchorman 1 and 2.
That is one of my favorite movies of all time, Anchorman, the first one. Yeah, I definitely made a few T-shirts with
T-shirts?
quotes
Oh
with
my God.
quotes from it. I think I have one that says "Sweet Lincoln's Mullet."
So, in looking this up, I actually learned that there is a name for them. They are the Frat Pack. It's Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, his brother Luke Wilson, who was
Yeah.
also in Old School.
Yes.
Will Ferrell,
Mhm.
Paul Rudd, Vince Vaughn, Steve Carell, and Jack Black.
Really?
Yes. So Steve Carell's the only one that I'm like, oh, really him? But like everybody else have constantly jumped in and out of each other's movies.
I feel like that's like the version of like the Adam Sandler group too. Like,
100%.
do they have a name?
I don't think so. But see, the difference there is that it's mostly just Adam Sandler and that other guy, Kevin James.
Oh, Kevin James.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
No,
Chris
he's
Rock
got
is
a
kind
whole
of a
bunch
big
of other
deal.
people.
David Spade as well. Yeah, I just find these guys more funny. Is
Well,
that
yeah,
bad?
obviously.
But I
no,
also feel
it's
like
a different type of comedy.
But I also feel like all of these guys are on the same playing field, whereas
Yes.
with Adam Sandler, it's like Adam Sandler,
And then everybody
and
else.
then there's a step down, and then it's
Yeah.
David Spade and like Chris Rock, and then a step down.
It's
and
like
then,
Adam Sandler and the group.
yes, Adam
Right?
Sandler is the lead singer.
Yeah.
This isn't the Beatles; they're not all equally talented.
Yeah.
This
Tom
is
Petty and the Heartbreakers, you know?
Sure,
like
yes,
it's
yes,
literally
exactly.
Adam Sandler and
Exactly.
the group.
Yeah, this is
The group
what,
that is
Neil
not
Young and Crazy
the
Horse.
group that is not named.
Yeah, that's the other guys. Yeah.
The group with no name.
God, there's a Chris Rock fan listening to this, just being like, "What are you talking
No,
about?"
I
He's
like Chris
amazing."
Rock
Hey,
though.
he is
I love
good.
Chris Rock. Okay, so John shows up at the wedding. So the wedding of
Jeremy and Gloria are
Jeremy
getting married.
and Gloria, and it's very quick, and it happens, and this is an epic scene. He professes his love to Claire in front of everyone, and then Sack gets pissed and yells at her in front of everyone, and she says she can't marry him, and Jeremy punches Sack out. And then as Sack goes to fight John. Again, a lot of these scenes have a lot of different elements all happening. It's chaotic greatness.
How do you feel about the end of this movie? Did you like the church scene? Or did you like the driving away off into the sunset scene?
Okay, so the driving away off into the sunset happens obviously after this scene, and all 4 of them are together, and it is a really cute scene. I like this scene much better than the church scene.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay, yes.
yeah.
I thought the church, like Owen Wilson's speech.
Oh, I don't know.
thought,
I just like
it's okay.
I'm just like, you're just droning on. Like, we
Yeah.
know you love her, like blah blah blah.
He also, like, he added some things for comedic effect, which were funny, but
Yeah.
it took away from the, like, I wanted a classic romantic comedy profession of love, and he's like, listen, I crashed a funeral before, and the whole crowd's like, oh my God.
I know,
Listen,
that
I
was
was in a
funny.
bad place, guys.
That was really funny.
Yeah, it was funny. So it's like they went for, let's make this speech funny and not impactful. And, it was funny. I think they tried to make it impactful and loving, but it was funny. But then the driving off into the distance thing, that's where I was like, hey, this is love. I'm seeing love here.
Yeah, do you think because like Vince Vaughn would be able to do the impactful speech, whereas like Owen Wilson doesn't have, like, do you think he has the ability to really give an impactful speech? Like, would you believe him if he said it? I would believe it. Vince Vaughn said it.
See, I'm gonna throw you for a loop. I would believe it most if Rachel McAdams said it.
Obviously.
I wish she had this big emotional thing.
Yes.
And Owen Wilson was kind of playing off her a little bit.
I think in this movie they really did focus on the two guys.
That's right. Yeah, that's
they
what
didn't.
I mean.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if they would have given Rachel the opportunity to have this like you said, impactful speech, it would have blown everything out of the water. I think it would have been really good. Oh, I kind of wish.
That's what should have been.
That's
Write
what
it
should
down.
have been.
That's what should have been.
Dang, I like that.
I mean, I think this movie is...
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything. Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business. Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot. Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me. Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com. Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Like kind of a perfect equinox of rom-com greatness. I don't know if it can be replicated.
No, I really don't want them to do a sequel, but I heard that they were.
Do a sequel, but like Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Rachel McAdams, I think this is like when all of them are kind of peaking. Like they are at the height of their powers during this movie.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams did Mean Girls in 2004.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Isla Fisher on the side. I love her so much. Christopher Walken and Will Ferrell. And all you need from them. See, I'm a big proponent of like who can give me like 10 good minutes in a movie to just be on the side and do something great. Christopher Walken, are you kidding?
I know.
And then having Will Ferrell for like the Chaz scenes.
Yeah.
It's great, right? So we on to quick facts.
We are. Rachel McAdams had to constantly smile in this movie, so to keep her smiling, Christopher Walken kept saying the word fart. The painting that Todd gave to Jeremy was kept by Vince Vaughn after filming, but I've also heard that it wasn't kept by Vince Vaughn, so I'm really wondering which one is really true. Rachel McAdams listened to Fleetwood Mac's 1975 song Landslide to prepare for emotional scenes. Owen Wilson said that the song made her cry immediately. Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn did a lot of improv for this movie and even did some of the writing for the script. Owen Wilson actually came up with the line, "I think we only use 10% of our hearts." Both Vince and Owen improvised the "lock it up" banter. At the Italian wedding, the guy who's sitting next to Owen Wilson, who laughed at the jabroni joke, is Owen Wilson's uncle. Rachel McAdams got her sailing certification to prepare for this role. A real wedding planner was on set to make sure the weddings in this movie looked real.
Wow.
Premiere voted this movie as one of the 50 greatest comedies of all time in 2006. If Will Ferrell hadn't been available for the short role of Chaz, director David Dobkin was going to have Nicolas Cage as a backup.
Oh, he would have been great.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yes,
I like it.
I know, me too. This was revealed in the Spitballing podcast. Will Ferrell was also offered the role of John, however, he turned it down for a smaller role. This movie was the inspiration for the movie clip of the song Sugar by Maroon 5, in which the band actually crashed several weddings by performing live without the knowledge of guests or the bridal party. In the scene where Jeremy is confessing to the priest, he mentions that he had an imaginary friend named Shiloh. This is a reference to Neil Diamond's song Shiloh, also about an imaginary friend. Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams starred as a couple again in Midnight in Paris in 2011. She also was in True Detective Season 2 with Vince Vaughn, and finally she reunited with Bradley Cooper in Aloha in 2015. The Cleary house is a property called Ellenborough on Peach Blossom Creek in Easton, Maryland. Now owned by David Bradley, who is the chairman of Atlantic Media, Ellenborough dates back to 1659, with the 2012 house dating back to 1928. It had been once owned by a member of the DuPont family. Randolph is watching an episode of The Honeymooners from 1955 when Sack interrupts him. Chaz's mother is watching Betty Boop cartoons when John comes over to talk to him. This is not the only movie where Will Ferrell portrayed a character named Chaz. He plays a Chaz, Michael Michaels, in Blades of Glory in 2007. When Jeremy refers to Gloria as Sybil when she's throwing a tantrum at the wedding, he is referring to Sally Field's breakout dramatic role as the title character in the TV movie Sybil from 1976, who has 16 different personalities.
Wow.
When Vince Vaughn is getting yelled at by the bratty kid who wants a balloon bicycle, the kid sitting next to Vince Vaughn is laughing, and you can see him trying to suppress it as the kid walks off with the balloon. Vince Vaughn says the line, "Time to recharge the batteries." It is also said again in the movie The Internship in 2013, but this time it's said by Owen Wilson. In the movie, they made fake purple hearts available for printing on the official movie website. Following complaints from the U.S. Congress, the producers of the movie pulled the printable purple hearts advertised as a gimmick to pick up women and get free drinks. This movie changed Bradley Cooper's career. He was hired at his audition, and the director David Dobkin recalls saying that you never ever hire somebody in the room. You always go back and watch the tape. Bradley Cooper is the only person who was an exception. I wouldn't find anyone for that role. And then he came in the room and he was amazing. He was like a thoroughbred. I remember going up to him and saying, "Dude, you're awesome. You got the part." And it kind of launched his career.
Yeah.
Isla Fisher used a body double for her nude scene. She told Entertainment Weekly that the film's producers wanted her to do 5 nude scenes, but she managed to talk them down to the 1. She clarified that she thought it was difficult for a woman to be funny once the audience had seen their breasts, and thought that her appearance nude would compromise the comedic quality of her performance. The producers disagreed and deemed nudity essential for the plot. She also watched Fatal Attraction and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle before her audition for Gloria. She said it helped her think about how to make someone really psycho and funny and aggressive and sexual, but also make her sweet enough that you still like her and think that she's endearing in some way. Vince Vaughn recommended Justin Long for the Todd Cleary role.
You know what? There is a similarity.
Yeah. When Justin Long auditioned, he played the role with influence from Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs from 1991. Justin Long initially thought he was cast for the role, but Keir O'Donnell was hired. When Jeremy tells John, "You've crashed a million weddings and you've rocked them all," it's a reference to the John Bon Jovi song Wanted Dead or Alive. It contains the similar lyric, "I've seen a million faces and I've rocked them all." When John and Jeremy are at the Cleary's wedding, one of the senators was 2008 Republican presidential nominee John McCain, and the man next to him in the scene who gets a hug from Cleary is Democratic strategist James Carville. The boat Woodwind, featured in the movie as owned by the Cleary family, is an actual boat that's available for rent. It's based out of Annapolis, Maryland. The movie was originally set in Boston and Cape Cod, so the script, they originally wrote it to be set in Boston and Cape Cod, but the producer thought it would be too cold to shoot there in March and April, so they moved it to Washington. Hundreds of actresses auditioned before Rachel McAdams read for Claire. This was the first live-action movie worked on by John Musker and Ron Clements, as well as the first film they've worked on that was not from Disney. There was a brief talk of a sequel where Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, and David Dobkin came up with the idea where John and Jeremy would compete with an ultimate wedding crasher played by Daniel Craig, who is famous for his role as James Bond.
Cool. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Best scenes. We haven't heard yours yet.
Okay, so my best scene is Jeremy's conversation with the priest.
Yes, we kind of skipped over that.
We did. Well, we did because I thought I would remember to bring it up as my best scene, like at that point, but I kind of forgot. So that is my best scene. It is absolutely hilarious. He just basically professes his love for Gloria at that point to the priest, who is staying at this vacation cottage, like, or
Strange
house.
that the priest lives with them.
Yeah. And but he's so cute. Like the priest is just like hilarious in this movie. He doesn't say anything.
Man. Yeah, no, he doesn't say anything. He just lets Vince Vaughn pours him a very tall
stiff drink. Yeah.
And just tells him all this stuff. But that is actually how we find out that Jeremy was lying about who he is, right? Because he professes it to the priest. That's why the grandma tries to shoot them. But at the same time, Sack is learning from the private eye all of what's happening, kind of.
Oh, you think the priest told the grandma?
Yeah, because he points at him. He says, "I said that to you in confidence."
Yeah, see, I didn't think that. I think it just all happened at once, and Jeremy just assumed that the priest told him. But I don't think the priest actually told him. I think Sack told the family.
And the priest got blamed by Jeremy.
Priest, yes,
Whoa,
yeah, and
interesting.
Yeah, and then the grandma grabbed a gun and went outside. I don't think that's just my take. I don't think the priest actually told. Yeah. Honorable mentions.
I already did my honorable mention, Christopher Walken.
Okay, so my honorable mention is the entire family because they are wild. Wild. Every single one of them has their quirks, and it is absolutely beyond entertaining.
Well, there's one of them who does not have a quirk.
Claire.
No.
Oh.
The bride.
Oh, well, we never see her.
So I actually
Or
thought
does she? Because she's a little obsessed with sailing.
She's obsessed with sailing, but I thought you were going to bring this up in your quick facts. The bride does not say one single word in this movie.
Oh, she doesn't.
She does not have a line. Whoa. She glares at times.
Yes, she does. She has a good glare. She was hired upon the glare.
Yeah, the groom has a few lines, but yeah, the bride never actually speaks, which I find very, very comical.
Wow.
Wow.
Owen Wilson. Wow.
Actually, you know what? Another thing from your quick facts. Mm-hmm. Can you give me your best Christopher Walken fart impression? Because I feel like you'd say like fart.
Oh, that's
fart.
Really fart.
Fart.
That's good.
Like that, right?
That's hilarious. Yeah.
What should have been?
Okay, so I wanted to see that there was a Wedding Crasher rules handbook.
Oh.
I wanted to know more of their rules.
Because there is actually a bro code from How I Met Your Mother.
Yes, there
book.
is.
You can
I
get
know.
the book.
Well, and it's not even that. Like, I don't need like the book to be sold to the general public. I just wanted to know, I found like they always just threw random number. Oh, number 37, blah blah blah. Don't leave a crasher behind. But I was just like, how many rules are there? I want to know more. Would
have been cool if we could see into Chaz's bedroom, for example, and there's just.
I don't really know if I want to see in his bedroom.
But
if I'm being completely honest.
Book,
yeah,
tome.
Yes. I don't want to see in his room though.
Well, it would be in his room, Sarah. So if you want to see the book, it's in his room.
Behind glass.
Chaz would be the person with the
bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess.
Overall rewatchability.
Okay, so my rewatchability is as follows: chemistry 5, storyline 5, thirst factor 4, imagination 5, soundtrack 4.5, cheese 4, for an overall score of 4.6 out of 5.
4.6, is that your highest score yet? Has something scored higher with our new rating system?
I can't remember. Maybe. I think I might have had a 4.8.
So I've got chemistry 4.75.
I always forget to do I can do the points, I'm
doing a 0.75 on this one.
That's good.
Storyline 5, thirst factor 4, imagination though 5, soundtrack 5, cheese 5, for an overall score of 4.79.
Wow.
Out of 5. This is a very good movie.
It is a very good movie.
Extremely good.
And I hope we did it justice.
Woo. Well, you listened this far, so if you have any complaints, you can hit us up on Instagram at RomComRewind or TikTok. If you're listening to us on Spotify, throw us a follow, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Wish us luck on our wedding. I'm probably rewriting my vows, so, And this has been the Rom-Com Rewind of Wedding Crashers.
Thanks for listening.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.